भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयं उदीरयेत् श्रीन्वतां स्वगता कृष्णा पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः उदयान्तस्थो हि अभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सतं नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्ति भवति नैष्टिकी. So we are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 27, Verse 1, Chapter 27, called Attacked by Chandavega on the city of King Puranjana, the character of Kalankaya. Narada Uvacha Itam Puranjanam Sadrag Vasamanaya Mania Vibramai Puranjani Maharaja Reme Ramayati Patim. Translation and purpose by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. The great sage Narada continued, My dear king, after bewildering her husband in different ways and bringing him under her control, the wife of King Puranjana gave him all satisfaction and enjoyed sex life with him. Purport. After hunting in the forest, King Puranjana returned home, and after refreshing himself, taking bath and eating nice food, he searched for his wife. When he saw her laying down on the ground without a bed, as if neglected, and devoid of any proper dress, he became very much aggrieved. He then became attracted to her, began to enjoy her company. A living entity is similarly engaged in the material world in sinful activities. These sinful activities may be compared to King Puranjana's hunting in the forest. A sinful life can be counteracted by various processes of religion, such as yajna, vrata, and dana. That is the performance of sacrifices, the taking a vow for some religious ritual, and the giving of a charity. In this way, one may become free from reactions of sinful life and at the same time awaken his original Krishna consciousness. By coming home, taking his bath, eating nice foodstuffs, getting refreshed, and searching out his wife, King Puranjana came to his good consciousness in his family life. In other words, a systematic family life as enjoined in the Vedas is better than irresponsible sinful life. If a husband and wife combine together in Krishna consciousness and live together peacefully, that is very nice. However, if a husband becomes too much attracted by his wife and forgets his duty in life, the implications of materialistic life will again resume. Srila Rupa Goswami has therefore recommended Anasaktasya Vishayan Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.255. Without being attached by sex, the husband and wife may live together for the advancement of spiritual life. The husband should engage in devotional service, and the wife should be faithful and religious according to the Vedic injunctions. Such combination is very good. However, if husband becomes too much attracted to the wife due to sex, the position becomes very dangerous. Women in general are very much sexually inclined. Indeed, it is said that woman's sex desire is 9 times stronger than man's. It is therefore the man's duty to keep a woman under his control by satisfying her, giving her ornaments, nice food, and clothes, and engaging her in religious activities. Of course, a woman should have few children, and in this way, not be disturbing to the man. Unfortunately, if the man becomes attracted to the woman simply for sex enjoyment, then family life becomes abominable. The great politician Pandita has said, Bharya Rupavati Shatruhu, a beautiful wife is enemy. Of course, every woman in the eyes of her husband is very beautiful. Others may see her as not very beautiful, but the husband, being very much attracted to her, sees her always as very beautiful. If the husband sees the wife as very beautiful, it is to be assumed that he is too much attracted to her. This attraction is the attraction of sex. The whole world is captivated by the two modes of material nature, Rajoguna and Tamoguna, passion and ignorance. Generally, women are very much passionate and are less intelligent. Therefore, somehow or other, a man should not be under the control of their passion and ignorance. By performing bhakti yoga or devotional service, a man can be raised to the platform of goodness. If a husband situated in the mode of goodness can control his wife, who is in passion and ignorance, the woman is benefited. Forgetting her natural inclination for passion and ignorance, the woman becomes obedient and faithful to her husband. who is situated in goodness. Such a life become very welcome. The intelligence of the man and woman may then work very nicely together and they can make a progressive march towards spiritual realization. Otherwise, the husband, coming under the control of the wife, sacrifices his quality of goodness, becomes subservient to the qualities of passion and ignorance. In this way, the whole situation becomes polluted. The conclusion is that household life is better than a sinful life devoid of responsibility. But if in the household life the husband becomes subordinate to the wife, involvement in material life again becomes prominent. In this way, man's material bandage becomes enhanced. Because of this, according to Vedic system, after a certain age, a man is recommended to abandon his family life for the stages of Vanaprastha and Sannyasa. End of purport. नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंद. Thank you for giving me this opportunity and purifying myself. Yeah, today's summary notes are provided by Nikita Mataji. I'm just reading from our summary. I have taken the notes from lectures by senior devotees. King Prachina Barhishat, to whom Narada Muni is speaking, is in the line of Swayambhuva Manu. This is very elevated age of Satya Yuga, where most people are very qualified. And even in Satyuga, we see that some people had interest in other things. Narada Muni is merciful on King Prachina Barhishat because other members of his lineage were disciples of Narada Muni, whom he delivered to the stage of pure devotional service, except King Prachina Barhi, who has slipped a little and became interested in fruitive activities. Narada Muni is waking him up by analogy of Puranjana. The sadhus are our acharyas. They have strong weapons. Sometimes they use a hammer and sometimes they use a pin. Sometimes they use sweet words and sometimes direct harsh words. But we should understand all is for our own benefit in progressing our spiritual life. So, allegorical king Puranjana is interested in fruitive activity. They have a strong interest in activities that brings sense gratification. Puranjana is bewildered by the charms of his wife and is wasting his life. For such persons, begetting children, raising them in itself is important and considered happiness. Puranjana's hunting in the forest is compared to the sinful activities of common people. It is recommended before taking initiation, one should perform certain activity called Purascharya, meaning activities done previously taking the initiation. These are five activities like chanting the holy name, offering sacrifice, offering oblations in the fire, worshipping the deity, and giving charity to the Brahmanas. By engaging in this type of Purascharya activity, sinful reactions are removed and it becomes easier to take up spiritual life. In the purport, there are some points where it is mentioned that a beautiful wife is an enemy, or man's duty is to keep woman under his control. We must understand that actual context here, and that is not against women's rights. There are explanations in our Vedas how one should act in a particular way. Men and both women have different natures invested in them by the arrangement of Supreme Lord. Many have more philosophical and analytical nature. It should be realized in Bhagavata philosophy. Women have more emotional intelligence and caring nature. Based on their nature, they have specific duties given to them. A husband should protect, maintain, and guide his wife, and wife will be faithful and devoted to her husband. They can discuss, support, and cooperate with one another cohesively in spiritual direction. A Vaishnava situation is to see everyone as an object of service. Ultimately, we should meditate on the Supreme Lord. Do everything as an offering to Krishna. Live your family life as an offering. Wife serves the husband and look after children as an offering. Husband protects and guide the wife and children as an offering. And the children respect their parents. They should support and inspire one another. The attraction to the opposite sex is very strong, but the attraction to Krishna is even stronger. Once we taste the nectar of Krishna consciousness, and then there is no thought of going back to materialistic life. When good looking wife and husband are engaged together in Krishna Bhakti, then there is nothing like enemy. Maharaja gave an example of how Prabhupada would use good looking women in Krishna's service. Once Prabhupada had gone to India, he had a big Pandal program with hundreds of people there. Now we know how there are some groups of people in audience, there are less interested who talk with each other. They don't pay attention to the speaker and just make noise. So when there was so much noise in the audience, Prabhupada called a Mataji named Hemavati on stage. Mataji was very good looking German woman following Krishna consciousness. When she came onto the stage, whole audience, hundreds of people, all became quiet. So Prabhupada would do things like this. He would use good looking women in the service of Krishna. The real renunciation is to utilize everything in the service of Krishna. When a husband is a strong devotee, then wife will follow him. If there are in Krishna consciousness dedicated to the practice of devotional principles, then the combination of man and woman will be very nice. We have to act in accordance with our material propensities, and those are defined by material nature according to our karma phala. You may be now a man, but you may meditate solely on a woman and sensual efforts. Then you will become a woman in your next life. You are in a destructive position. How a man and woman can combine and satisfy their material desire in regulated way and yet achieve spiritual liberation. A husband and wife come together in the material arrangement of male and female and produce children and turn them into devotees. They will meditate upon Supreme Lord. This will purify them of all bodily concerns and material conditioning. That is the whole secret of life, to become absorbed in the transcendental Leela of Supreme Lord and His devotees. I will stop here. Vanchakalpatarubhasya Krupa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Hare Krishna. Thank you for Nikita Mataji sharing your notes, even though she could not able to present on her own. Thank you, everyone.